Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface with a long-awaited edition of AzChats. I know it's been a little while, but I always bring AzChats out when there's a legitimate viewpoint to talk about, instead of just talking for talking's sake. Now, if you're new to the whole AzChats business, then AzChats is more of a podcasty type of a video as opposed to a visual video. But due to the fact that some people still like to stay at their computer desks and stare, yeah, I thought that as well. I'm now going to put eye candy in on all the AzChats videos for you to see. But that doesn't mean, though, that if you've got stuff to do around the house, you can't just crank up the volume and get on with whatever you need to do. Taking the cat to rehab because it can't get off the catnip. Oh dear, it's an awful situation, that. Or whatever, you know. So either sit down and watch or go off, do some laundry. It's all the same to me. Now, this topic has been requested like crazy for me over the last few days. I did actually do a recording of this. This is not actually the recording that I said I did a few days ago. I've decided to change it. I listened back to it this morning. It's about half an hour long or so. It's probably how long this will be. And I wasn't happy with some of the content of it. And there was other stuff that I wanted to elaborate on. So what is the topic of today's conversation? Well, it's the Warlords of Draenor capital cities. Yeah, some people are just going, yay! Now, back in BlizzCon last year, when they were discussing Warlords of Draenor, they spoke about two specific places, which was Bladespire Fortress, which is in Frostfire Ridge, the starting zone for the Horde, and they talked about the Temple of Caribor, which is the Draenei Temple in Shadowmoon Valley, which is the starting zone for the Alliance. Now, what they said is we're going to have a couple of quest chains which lead up to you either attacking, which the Horde do. They assault Bladespire Fortress and overrun it and take it off the Ogres and the Ogron. And the Alliance actually defend Temple of Caribor, which is quite an interesting little spin there. So instead of both factions having the identical same thing to do, one attacks, one assaults, and one defends. It doesn't mean that the defense is any less exciting than the assault, because both these quest lines, which I've experienced now on the beta servers for Warlords of Draenor, are freaking excellent. I absolutely fell in love with the Horde assault on Bladespire Fortress. It was very well crafted. You literally flew from your garrison to a small outpost nearby. You overrun the outpost. You then go across a bridge. You wipe out all the ogres that are on the bridge, and then you get it to the fortress itself, and you do various elements within the fortress, killing Ogron and ogres and all that kind of jazz, and freeing slaves and whatnot. And you eventually, with the help of the Frostwolf clan, take it over. It's brilliant stuff. The Alliance side, flipping over to Shadowmoon Valley, Prophet Velen, spoilers here, folks. Woo! Prophet Velen has a vision of the Iron Horde taking over the Temple of Caribor, and we must prevent that from happening. There is a great little scenario. When I say it's a great little scenario, it's the first time that I've legitimately felt a scenario has told me a true story, a true lore story, what they hoped to achieve in Mists of Pandaria, which I just never thought they did correctly at all, just didn't work. But this time, because it had such a strong element behind it, the defense of the Temple of Caribor, it was superb. Absolutely superb. And there's some great elements which go, I won't spoil it too much for you, but there's some great defensive elements which go on there with the defense of the Temple of Caribor. And needless to say, that is just as exciting as assaulting. Holding ground and defending the Temple of Caribor was just as exciting as the Horde overrunning Bladespire Fortress. So two excellently crafted quest chains. I've got to give you props for that. I really have. Because I thought the questing was just diabolical beyond compare in Mists. It was just generic trash. And whoever crafted these two specific storylines, I tell you what, major kudos. Major kudos. 10 quid, it wasn't Cossack. Right. Shots fired. Okay. So what they said was, when you've completed these two storylines, then that will leave Bladespire Fortress to be the capital city for the Horde, and it will leave the Temple of Caribor to be the capital city for the Alliance. And this made oodles of logical sense. Why did it make oodles of logical sense? Well, your garrison is set up in the starting zones for the Horde and the Alliance. So the Horde one is in Frostfire Ridge, and the Alliance one is still in Shadowmoon Valley. And they're not next to the capital cities by any stretch. They're probably the other side of the map, or as near as you're going to get to the other side of the map. So there is a distance to travel between capital city and garrison, but at the same time, it's a good distance because you don't feel as if you're constantly dependent on the capital city. You do feel as though you have your independence with the development of your garrison. So I like that little bit of distance. So if you do need to go to the auction house, or you do need to take your portals to Orgrimmar, Stormwind, wherever you need to go, you can either get on your ground mount and ride off across the beautiful zones, because the zones are just beautiful beyond compare, or you can fly from your garrison to the capital city and do your gubbins. It makes lots of logical sense. Now, Blizzard have decided to change this, which I don't, honest to goodness, understand one bit. Well, I do understand. I'll take that back. There's a little bit of a fib. I know exactly why they've done it, but they claim not to have, but I'll get to that in a moment. What they've done is they've now said we're no longer going to have Bladespire Fortress and Temple of Caribor as the main faction capital cities. Now, that's a bummer for one massive reason, and the massive reason is these places are just amazing. Bladespire Fortress is colossal in size. It goes up and up and up. It's about 3 stories high. I think the video footage that I'm showing at the time is a little guided tour of both Bladespire Fortress and Temple of Caribor. No specific order, folks. And it's just huge. It goes up for ages. There's so much room. There's so many little nooks and crannies and areas of development that they could put various things there. It's awesome, and it looks fantastic. You can be virtually anywhere in Frostfire Ridge, and you'll always see some sort of aspect of Bladespire Fortress. And when you get closer to it, and you see the lava pouring down from the sides, and this just immense Ogre Ogron Tower, which comprises of the vast majority of it, it is a sight to behold. And you get there by crossing a huge bridge. So if you're at the bottom of the bridge, it just looks, it just looks mind-blowingly cool. The snow's coming down, the wind is howling, you can see the flags waving. Oh, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And the Temple of Caribor, well, there's very little words I can say to describe this, because it is just, it's just perfect. It's just perfect. It's the most beautiful creation I've ever seen in the World of Warcraft. My opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. But my opinion, I've never seen such amazing architecture, such an amazing looking place. It's got the amphitheatre nearby. It's got loads and loads of grounds. People are chilling out. Lots of nice little bridges, river, harbour at the back. It is just perfect. If I was to ever describe my ideal capital city for the Alliance, let's say, because I predominantly play Alliance on the EU servers, then I would be describing the Temple of Caribor. It is epic. It is immense. It is almost perfect. So we have to say goodbye to those, at least for now. So what have Blizzard done? You're like, okay, well, if they've got rid of these 2 amazing places, then surely they have something very special planned for the capital cities. No. What they've done is they've said, we've actually decided to move the capital cities off Draenor to an island on the northeast coast of Tanaan Jungle, which is called Ashran. Now, if you know anything about the WOD Alpha or the WOD Beta and what informations have come out, or you watch BlizzCon, then you'll be aware that Ashran is the world PvP zone. It's Alterac Valley 2.0. It's an area that you can do world PvP in without pressure. And when I say without pressure, there's no time scale. It's you go out, you get your PvP quest, you go into Ashran, you do whatever you want to do. You can either fight the Horde, fight the Alliance, assault the bases, build up your defenses, go and do quests out in the country. That's what it's all about. And our capital cities are based here in the PvP world zone. Now, first of all, that doesn't mean you're going to be PvP flagged if you're on a PvE server. There's going to be like a neutral zone within the capital city where you're not flagged. And Blizzard said, yeah, in this capital city, we're going to put portals. So if you want to go to Orgrimmar, if you want to go to your garrison, then they're all going to be here for you. Now, there's a lot wrong with this decision. A lot wrong with this decision. And Blizzard have attempted to defend it, and they've really just made a complete hash. They've made no logical sense in their defense. They've just made a complete and utter hash. I'll tell you why I think they have as well very shortly. So first things first, they have claimed that they're not trying to force world PvP by placing it on Ashran, which, number one, Blizz, is a lie. Please don't lie to us. Please don't give us blatant lies, because we're not 5 years old and we can see through it like tissue paper. It's blatantly obvious that you're trying to force the issue with world PvP. You cocked up world PvP. There's no denying about that. Cataclysm did wonders to destroy world PvP with the introduction of flying in Azeroth. Yes, great convenience, but no, it did nothing for world PvP and turned it into just a gank fest. You also destroyed South Shore, which stopped a wonderful place of world PvP that just automatically happened. Blizz claimed that, oh no, you know, those were the good old days. Those were the good old days. Well, I tell you what, even in Wrath of the Lich King, I was still involved in heavy fighting between Tarren Mill, that's the place, and South Shore. Still level 80 odd, and I was still involved in ground heavy fighting between those two places. You go to, you know, whichever capital city you're in, Stormwind, Orgrimmar, Undercity, and then you'd get the nod. You'd get it coming over. Somebody would say in trade chat, someone saying local defense, hey guys, South Shore's under attack, Tarren Mill's under attack. And there would be a group of us, there would be certain, not everyone, there'd be a certain group of us that would then get on the flight path and fly to the respective place, and then we would see what the score was. We'd see whether or not, you know, we could actually get a force to fight them back, or whether or not we were overrun. And it led to some simply amazing experiences, amazing nights, of which I've never ever had again in PvP. Same goes for Crossroads. Crossroads is under attack. Crossroads is under attack. Baron's chat, dicks everywhere. Crossroads is under attack. And then they did the whole divide. I know you can fly over the divide, but just simply causing that divide, causing that sunder, seemed to destroy the PvP in Crossroads as well. So Blizz did a lot to destroy world PvP. Of course, the balance of classes doesn't help. It never helps. And contributes to you know, people just getting more and more pissed off. The rise of CC didn't help. The rise of healers being gods hasn't helped. You know, none of these things have helped contribute towards world PvP. Blizz, you were the ones, not us. We're the guys that play the game. We're the guys and the girls that play the game. Not trying to be sexist, ladies. But you were the ones that did it. You're the ones that balance the classes. You're the ones that make the decisions which areas get destroyed. You're the one that made the decision to bring in flying mounts. So this is your thing, not ours. Don't blame us for overpowered classes. You did it. You made them that way. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, with the stat squish and stuff, they're trying to reintroduce PvP. They're trying to reintroduce world PvP, and they're like, hey, you know, Maybe Ashran is a bit of it's a bit of a love letter for them. It's something they're very proud of, that they want people to experience. And I understand that. I totally understand that, Blizz. If you're very proud of something, you want people to participate in it. That's why you turn raiding into a complete joke, which is true with LFR and things like that, because your egos couldn't handle the fact that only a small proportion or any proportion of people saw your raids. But you know what? That's what made raiding so special. That's really what made raiding so special. But let's say, you really want people to experience Ashran. If we have ever seen anything in the World of Warcraft that is going to be an absolute, it is forcing people to PvP is just going to blow up in your face. You can't take a horse to water and make it drink. You can't force food down somebody's throat and tell them to eat. If they don't want to drink and they don't want to eat, they won't. If they don't want to PvP, they won't. It's as simple as that. I could elaborate, I could go on for hours about that, but that's what the main crux is. You can't force people to PvP. This is where it absolutely, though, links to the fact that they're desperate to get people to World PvP. Because I'm now going to tell you what's going to happen in Warlords of Draenor if the capital cities stay on Ashran. Let's just take the Horde, for example. I'm going to take it from the Horde side. I start off in Frostfire Ridge. I then go across to Gorgron. This is me levelling up. 90 to 92 Frostfire. 92 to 94 Gorgron. Just for argument's sake, because we don't know where things are going to go. To where Shatrath is, 94 to 96 Shatrath. Spires of Iraq. 96 to 98, Tanan Jungle 98 to 100. I get to level 100. I go to Ashran. I never fucking go to Warlords of Draenor again. I never go to Draenor again because I just stay in the goddamn capital fucking city. And then we have the same problem that we've had in other expansions. Nobody goes out into the big bad world and it's fucking empty. Empty. The only people that are going to be around in the world are the people that are goddamn levelling up. And that's it. You're going to get one or two doing archaeology if it's worth it. One or two doing world bosses once a week. A few people doing world bosses once a week, whatever. But all they're going to be doing is sitting their ass in Ashran, taking a portal to the garrison taking a portal back to Ashran. Or Hearthstone back to Ashran. And then you've got an empty world. An empty world. Draenor. Tumbleweed. Just going past. That's what you've done. Well done. Do you want that? Do you want Cataclysm 2.0, where everyone's just sat in Stormwind? Nobody now goes to Ironforge because you just moved everything across to the one capital city. Everyone's sat in Orgrimmar, doing nothing. That's how it's going to be. That's exactly how it's going to turn out. They're going to go from 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 98, 97, 98, 99, 100. Fat ass in Ashran doing nothing but portal jockeying, queuing for dungeons, queuing for raids. That's it. Draenor deceased. It's not good, Blizz. That is not a way to play a game. Short term, you may think, yeah, we've got a victory because we've got everyone in Ashran and a proportion of those people who wouldn't have normally gone out into the big bad world to do world PvP are going to do it. In the long term, the vast majority of people are going to be like, this is boring. This is boring as hell. I'm just sat in Ashran doing cock all. And then they'll leave. And you'll lose subscribers. And you're already on the precipice of a really tricky situation here. Your subs are down 25% in Mr. Pandaria. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to go back up for Warlords. They always do when a new expansion's released. But how many will come back? That's what you've got to ask yourself. Will it go from 7.5 to 8? Will it only be 500,000? Or will it go from 7.5 to 8.5 and 1 million will come back? Or will it go from 7.5 to 9? It doesn't matter. Because that point will just go down from there. If you don't get people out into the wide world. and creating the capital city in Ashran ain't going to do it. One of the beauties about having the capital cities in Frostfire Ridge and Shadowmoon Valley are the fact that you've completely separated the Horde and the Alliance. Completely separated them. So if the Horde, and because there's no flying, if the Horde or the Alliance want to assault a capital city, they've got to come across the whole of the map. They've got to get a good force together. They've got to make sure they get into a flight path that is as near to that they can possibly get, which is most likely going to be whichever, the Shatrath base. I keep forgetting the zone at the minute. The Shatrath zone or Spies of Iraq or wherever it may be. And then you're going to see a force of Horde or Alliance pushing through Shadowmoon Valley or Frostfire Ridge towards the major city. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun to see. But you stick it on Ashran, and what have you got? Well, I tell you what. Couple of things again. Let's go back to point number 2. Number 1, the capital cities just look generic nonsense. They just look like generic Horde, generic Alliance, Crossroad Wales, patch 5.1, Lion's Landing, Domination Point. Just look like that, pretty much. Nothing different, nothing special. You got your unbelievable Bladespire Fortress, and you just simply divine Temple of Karabor replaced by generic garrison-looking capital cities. Which then begs the question: what's the point of even having a garrison then? What's the point of having a garrison? What is the point of having a garrison if the capital city just looks pretty much identical and the capital city's got everything that you need? What's the point? You probably just get more people sat in your arse on Ashran than bothering doing the garrisons, because what's your garrison going to do? Oh look, I've just made my garrison look like the capital city. Well, that's fun. Instead of being something separate, something completely different that feels unique to yourself. Oh look, my garrison's a smaller version of the capital city and not as good. And I've just spent all my gold on it. Yay. It's not right. That's not good. It's not fun. And I'll throw another thing in now as well. Going back to the PvP. Even the PvE servers are going to have their faction bases in this World PvP zone. Now let me just take a PvP zone. A couple of PvP servers at the minute. Kazakh and Outland. 2 servers which are 95% dominated by one faction. Kazakh is dominated by the Horde, and Outland is dominated by the Alliance. No number of cross-rail merges or anything like that is going to change it. Do you honestly think those people are just going to sit quietly in their faction capital city, in Ashran, and not say, screw this? The Horde or the Alliance, they aren't going to have their capital cities, and they're just going to overrun them. The guards, because we know that guards in capital cities are so good, they're awesome at defending, and they're just not like tissue paper and you slash through them. They're going to kill all the auctioneers, they're going to kill all the portal people. Well, you can't kill the portal from getting in the portal, but you know what I mean. They're going to kill all the trainers, all the auctioneers, and they're going to do it on a regular basis. A regular basis, because they're just going to be bored. They're going to be in the PvP world, just come through, overrun your cities. Instead of having to construct a major force and organise a full-on assault of the capital city by having it in either Bladespire Fortress or Temple of Karabor. Which would be, first of all, a lot more epic for both sides, because it'd be a lot more epic actually gaining that force together, and secondly, it'd be epic for the other side that suddenly sees, or you get the call, there is a massive Horde or Alliance force coming through Shadowmoon Valley, Frostfire Ridge, to our capital city. Defences up, number 1. Shields up. That would be much more epic, instead of just getting fucking overrun in Ashran. Yawn, boring. Doesn't matter if you're PvP flagged or not in a capital city, because they'll just disrupt everything. NPCs killed, trainers killed, auctioneers killed. And that's just so much easier to do when you're in that kind of zone than it is to organise big fights between major capital cities that are on the opposite sides of the map. Genuinely is. It's not a good decision. Now, Blizzard, I know you have to deal with a lot of crap. I really do understand that. I've been on the forums. I've seen what people write. Some people clearly shouldn't be allowed near the internet. But I've got to just flip this on yourself. You yourself, though, guys and girls, have to be the bigger person here. You have to understand that you have two amazing places that the community want to take advantage of. And you're trying to offer them two generic places, trying to force PvP and lying that you're not. Please don't lie. We know you are. Stop it. Just don't open your mouth about that. And say, yay, have fun. So first, you're making the capital cities not even on Draenor itself, because it's on an island to the northeast of Tanan Jungle. So you're disconnecting your audience from Draenor, physically as well as mentally disconnecting it. And then they won't move. They won't move and they won't go out into the world. Unless you have some absolutely god-amazing content plan that's going to be going on in the big bad world, they ain't going to budge for shit and your world's going to be empty. Absolutely empty. We don't want that. We really don't want that. Please, be the bigger person. I know when people push you, you like to push back, Blizzard. I know when people want things, you yourself can get petulant just as much as they can, and then you slap them down because it gives you that power. We are the creators of this game, and what we say goes. Sometimes, Blizz, you've just got to capitulate. You've just got to say, you know what? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into the arguments that Blizz said why they've done it. Very briefly, they've said that it's not for world PvP, which would, it's just a lie. And also, they said that those capital cities, Karabor and Bladespar Fortress, were never really set up to be capital cities, even though they had a freaking, panel on BlizzCon about it, where they announced them as the capital cities, which made no sense at all. It's not going to be difficult to kit them out. It really isn't going to be. How difficult it's going to be to put auctioneers and portals in and NPCs that sell stuff and trainers and things like that. It's going to be not at all. Not at all. And if they don't, and Blizz say, yeah, but these places are still wonderful. You can still go and visit them. Well, the question is, yes, they are beautiful, but why go visit them if they're not going to have a link to what you're doing in the game? You're just going to go from Ashran to Garrison to Garrison to Ashran to Garrison to Ashran, Ashran to Garrison to That's all that's going to happen. And it's going to be shit. It's going to be really, really shit. This is the one time, Blizzard, that you have to stop pushing back at the community. You have to say, okay, I tell you what, we'll scrap that. Yes, there should be some bases on Ashran for Horde and the Alliance, but do you know what they should be? They should be related to the PvP aspect. That's what they should be. Have some NPCs there, have some vendors there, have your Quartermaster there, your Honor Quartermaster, your Conquest Quartermaster, or however they're going to do that for PvP gear. Have them there, but that's all it should be. That's all it should be. And a portal back to your garrison. So if you want to make the physical decision to world PvP, then you do it. But if you don't, then you don't, Blizz. You can't force it upon us. It won't work. And just come out and say, we've listened. We've listened to the community. We're going to scrap it. We're going to make it how we originally planned in BlizzCon, and we're going to have Bladespar Fortress and Temple of Karabor as your main capital cities. Now, I will let you into a little bit more information now, just very briefly before I end this. And I think there's actually a very specific reason why they've decided to do this. Why they've decided to move the capital city away from Bladespire and from Karabor and put it onto Ashran. And it goes just a little bit deeper than forcing PvP. That is a byproduct, absolutely 100% a byproduct of what they're trying to do. But I also think that it's garrisons. Garrisons are causing a massive issue. Garrisons are breaking zones at the minute. They really are. They've been very difficult to interweave into the zone. There's lots of bugs going on, and it all seems to be related back to garrisons, which is not so good. I think that's why the alpha and the beta were so late in being released. And I think this is one of the decisions, because I think they're worried about having a big population of people in the same zone where you've got a big population of people dealing with their garrisons, which could cause significant heavy loads onto that server and potentially crash the server, cause tremendous amount of bugging. So I think they're actually trying to push people out of the starting zones for the capital cities to give it a little less population, and hopefully will steady the problems that they've had with garrisons, which have been pretty immense. That's speculation. That is not fact. That is just me speculating from what I've seen on both the alpha and the beta so far. But I think there's a little bit more to that story. But the long and the short of it is, Blizz, sort it. Make it happen for the community. Really, just make it happen for the community. Don't give them cotton when you can give them silk, because it will fall flat. And if you want people in Draenor, don't put it in Ashran. If you want people to world PvP, let them make their own decision about that. Don't force it upon them, for goodness sake. And this is the one time, as I've mentioned, that you've just got to let it go. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter, Facebook and twitch.tv/Hill vs Babyface for live Warlords of Draenor Alpha and Beta now, streaming, and I shall be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.